Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So isn't it wild, man, that everyone these days is a political expert? And I know that's ironic, me saying that, just a regular guy in a garage talking about politics. But anyway, bear with me. So social media, especially Twitter, they've turned everyone into a pundit, man, from the soccer mom down the street to literally every D-list celebrity you've never heard of that's just trying to stay relevant. Everyone's got an opinion. And I mean everyone. Literally everyone has an opinion. The strange thing is, most of the opinions in this world, they appear not to be their own. They appear just to be parroting the things that they have heard, been beat over the head with over and over and over again. They're not even sure why they believe it, but they do. They believe it. They believe it with every fiber of their being. They just don't know why. They don't know where it come from. They can't prove it. It's freaking bizarre, man. But now, obviously, don't get me wrong. It is awesome that people want to be involved. They want to be informed. They want to think they're informed. I just wish, it is my wish, that people were as informed and as correct as they are passionate about these things, but it is cool that people are involved now, but sometimes it's painfully obvious that some of these newfound political analysts, they're literally just repeating what they've seen on cable TV. And comedians in particular, they got a newfound platform as political commentators, which I guess it's not new. It's always kind of been like that, but they used to put thought into it. Now they're just parrots, And I don't know if it's because they're used to public speaking or they're really good at delivering punchline, which politics basically is nowadays. But let's be real, man. Knowing how to tell a joke, it doesn't necessarily mean you understand what the hell's going on in the world. And that's why it's cool that we now have things like Joe Rogan's podcast and other podcasts. It's a really cool space, more open discussion. You get to see people actually talking, not like you see on the news or anything like that, just real discussion. And it lets you see really what people know. And sometimes what they actually know falls apart pretty quickly. And when it gets to happen in front of us, it's pretty awesome to see. And that's where we're at today, man. We got comedian Jim Gaffigan, and he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. And I don't know if you've seen the clip, man, but it is a perfect example of your brain on CNN. Gaffigan's got all his talking points completely down, but it's clear that they're lifted right out of his TV, and they don't go very deep. He knows how to say the words, but he doesn't really know what he's saying. It's like a musician like me. I'm really, really good at playing by ear, but I can't tell you what scale and mode or anything that is. Anyway, the result, a super awkward, super cringy conversation where Gaffigan, his lack of understanding is just like so out there, and it's almost embarrassing to watch. And full disclosure, I love Jim Gaffigan. Probably one of the funniest clean comedians. And if you ask me, probably the funniest clean comedian. But here's a lesson here, man. And I guess the lesson is that just because someone's loud and has a platform doesn't mean that they know what the hell they're talking about. We should probably be a little bit more careful about where we get our information and who we listen to. And even deeper than that, more careful about what we repeat as if it were true. Expertise really should be about more than just an opinion.
So they silenced protest, which is a part of our freedom of speech. So this is a tactic that some government agencies use to stop
but
peaceful
wait a minute.
protest.
All right, so what you're saying is on January 6th, that this event that obviously Trump organized, forget about the Giuliani stuff and the whether they thought that it was
He definitely
stolen.
encouraged people to protest.
Yes. But all right, so you're saying that like the FBI and Nancy Pelosi and I'm
not saying Nancy Pelosi.
No, but like you're saying that like they're like, we'll make this instead of an awkward protest, we'll encourage it so that it'll backfire on Trump rather than being this rising of people that believe that there was election.
I think it's certainly
I think
possible.
that would be hard. You think it's possible? I think it's possible.
You don't think it's... Wait a minute. You think it's hard to do?
In the hallway. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't see why that would be of use. Like, I'm more suspicious why Trump didn't call for backup when, for the Capitol Police. You know what I mean? It's like there was, and that like Michael Flynn's brother was, you know what I mean? Like there's there's way more conspiracy stuff against Trump, and then I think the slim likelihood that people were like, oh, Trump's a problem, let's just get these people that are loyal to Trump to run into the Capitol so that we can arrest 300 people. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. No, I think it's a standard tactic, especially when someone is the enemy of the intelligence agencies. With Trump, that's absolutely the case. Trump set himself up against the intelligence agencies. It's standard for intelligence agencies in this country to encourage agent provocateurs or to employ agent provocateurs.
And so you're saying when he was in Helsinki and he was saying, I believe Putin more than my intelligence community, that was something the intelligence community was like, we're going to get him.
Well, I think they were going to get him in any way that they could because he's an enemy of the intelligence agency.
The scariest thing, dude, is that these people, they're the ones forming political opinions for regular folks, for regular people that maybe aren't as engaged as they should be or think they are. Because let's face it, man, most of them, they don't go beyond reading celebrity tweets or headline news themselves. They don't read the article, they just read the blurb. And, we're 3 years past the events of January 6th. With all the information that's come out, it's freaking embarrassing, man, that some people, they have not learned much beyond the official, quote unquote, official story. And, what's been seen in some media channels, it almost seems, it is proof of biased indoctrination. The lack of knowledge is surprising. People they don't know what they don't know, but it's impressive as hell what they actually don't know. Trump did call for help on that day, as seen in text messages that have been published with the sergeant at arms, with his communication with Nancy Pelosi's office, which has been published. This is common knowledge for people. It should be common knowledge for people. But most people aren't aware of this, man, and it's intentional. It's intentional by the media. There is a big gap in what people know. And if you ask me, what the media sometimes, leaves out has got to be on purpose. And it's frustrating, man, especially when you notice patterns in certain channels like MSNBC and CNN. It just makes you feel like a crazy person. Like you're the only one who can see it. Like you're the only one who is putting these pieces together. And of course, them actually calling us crazy doesn't actually help us feel less crazy. Anyway, we'll get back into this. But before we do, guys, thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. Means a lot. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the support. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. Every time you do, a leftist will lose its wings. Help us get our message out there and help us grow, guys. We appreciate you.
Trump lost the election. He is such an amazing communicator, and he's convinced this loyal base that there was election interference.
So that argument really gets me, and it's one of the most frustrating and unsettling parts of the left-wing rhetoric. This notion that the people who support Trump, or even some of his policies, they do it because he said so. Like they're just a bunch of mindless lemmings. It's a stereotype that doesn't make any sense. It's just the newer, cleaner version of Hillary's basket of deplorables. It's the newer, cleaner version of the smelly Walmart people. Trump's saying something and people just going along with it as if it's their new belief. It doesn't resonate with reality. This is not what is happening. Most of the time it's the opposite. These things are growing organically at a grassroots level, and then Trump, being a pretty smart political figure, actually, he adopts it. It's textbook populism is all that it is. It starts with the people. It's not starting with Trump. And the fact that the left hasn't figured that out, it just tells me they truly either don't want to understand, don't care to understand, or they just can't understand. And saying that all Trump supporters or anyone who may agree with them on some matters, border security or whatever, are just blindly following the guy is not a fair perspective. It's painting people with a very, very broad brush. It's labeling them as some kind of cult of personality. That's a major oversimplification. And truly, if you're the left, that's a major mistake. We hear it often. And trust me, the irony is not lost on me. Just like this example that's been going very, very viral on Twitter lately.
Well, I think, look, Joe Biden's relationship with his son or, who obviously struggles with addiction. I mean, look, half of our friends struggle with addiction. It's like, he's a compassionate father. Is there some of that, like, let's make some money with our influence after we left office, or even
during
when,
office,
or
when he was
even
vice
when we were
president.
senator, or stuff
Yeah.
like that? Is there some of that? Yeah.
It seems like
But,
there's
like,
a lot of that.
But compared to Trump, compared to like Jared getting a $2 billion contract, compared to like, like even the documents, like the documents that like Biden had or Pence had, versus like Trump literally showing the documents, some of them being I think we're going to find out, being really inconsequential. I'm not saying he was selling them. I'm not saying, I don't know if he was, it was like a big swinging dick move. I think that's different than, Pence having some documents in his house that he shouldn't have. It's very little doubt in my mind that Trump is the most corrupt, and was like just the corruption. I mean, like
But there's repeated corruption with the Biden administration. The corruption with his son. First of all, his son struggling with addiction. That's not my concern. That's not what
Yeah.
It's the corruption. It's the clear influence by foreign agents and foreign.
You don't think Trump has more corruption?
I don't think there's evidence the same way that there's evidence right now because of the laptop and because of the recorded conversations. There's real evidence that they were getting money from other countries.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but all this talk about Donald Trump being corrupt, and it's proven by just a feeling some people have, but there hasn't been any solid evidence to prove that he's corrupt. And I mean, come on. We're on felony indictment like number 60. 60 or 70 something felonies he's been indicted for in just the last couple months. And not one of them is for corruption or anything that even looks like or related to corruption. What does that tell you? And they just keep going back to the same old BS about Kushner and the Saudis. We're going to do a video on that deal, but because that's bogus. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about all this stuff. Does it drive you nuts to hear someone say Trump is guilty when they can't even explain why it is they think that? They just think it because it's a feeling. Some people just say, I just know. I just know. And it's often based on what they hear on TV. They know because they heard it on TV. And honestly, we can't really blame these people because they've been beat over the head with Trump corruption, Trump collusion, Trump University, Trump and dictators, Trump. And these poor mushy-brained Democrat voters, they've been beat over the head with this stuff. Something negative about Trump every single day for the better part of a decade now. So of course, we can't blame them. I wish we could help them understand what is happening to them. But anyway, it's a true testament to the powers of propaganda and confirmation bias. But anyway, there's a well-known study that went viral during the Trump years, which essentially showed that conservative-minded people, they tend to get their news from a broader range of sources. And while liberal-minded people, they might actually be in a bubble, getting their information from specific sources, and oftentimes not even specific channels, but specific shows like Rachel Maddow only. And if you're part of the Hollywood celebrity class, you probably find yourself in this little news or Twitter bubble. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. I thought you guys would get a kick out of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the Common Sense Garage. We'll see you in the next one.